Well, actually, when I walked in, you're talking about memory lane, having flashbacks. And, you know, the good part about it is I see everybody with such high spirits and such good energy. You know, but again, since the Jet Center closed down, the Jet Gym opened up, and we're still, at this point in time, it's still going. But again, it's always been the journey, not the destiny. The journey is the power of what we all have done. We had such a journey from right from the get-go. Because what they see mixed martial arts as it is today, we started it back in '73. Linked, my sister, myself, my brother, you know, and we started it back then. It's just that they put a label, MMA, which we have already been doing that. So we see in 5 decades of warfare, and truly I stand before you thankful that I can still understand myself after all these wars. But again, because again we know it's not, okay, when you start going to a third world country in the beginning, we wasn't worried about our opponent. Our opponent was our least problem. It was getting out of the ring after we knocked him out, trying to get back to the dressing room. That was scary. You know? Because again, you know, you have to deal with, you know, with their families and their friends and so forth, and not knowing the language. I said, oh, okay, how do we do this one? But the beautiful part about the journey of all of it is we had a chance to plan our plan, to do what we love doing. Because again, if it wasn't for the love of it, there was no reason to be doing. And that's the only reason why to this day we're still doing it, for the love of it. If for any other reason, I guarantee you it's the wrong reason. And it doesn't last. Okay? The journey is the power, not the destiny. Okay? Just remember, okay, the thought of doing, okay, is more powerful than the doing itself. And in this, how many of you here actually, after all this time, I've asked this question before, just raise your hand, and without thinking, just if there's some truth to it to you, raise your hand, because I'm going somewhere with this. And how many of you, right now, at this point in time, fear yourself? Raise your hand if you fear yourself. Okay? Now, let me ask you again for the ones that didn't understand the question. How many of you fear of disappointing? How many of you fear of not having control? How many of you fear of being judged? Oh. I was, you know, I got there. Anyway, sorry. So, my question is, again, if you didn't understand the question, truly, when I say how many of you fear yourself, it's really about you. And our journey at the Jets, you know, at the Jets, and actually we started going back at Chase Street, you know, full contact. But in the journey, I guarantee you, for myself, when we fought, the first time we fought, and I first got introduced to thigh kicks. I mean, I had Charlie horses before, but the first time I got introduced to a thigh kick, that was from the guy from Thailand, the Wrong Noi. And what happened is in the round, when I've never seen, this is honest God's truth, I've never seen when he was praying. I thought that was cool, and I was out there dancing to it, and all the Thai people think I'm making fun of them, and I wasn't making fun of them. I just had never seen it before. So in this, he was very upset, and when he came after me the first round, and when he kicked my legs, it was like those dogs you squeeze the ice pop out. I've never felt that kind of pain before, and I'm trying to jump over his legs because I don't know what to do. So I sit down. And I tell my brother, what do? He said, no, you know, kick him back. And I said, oh yeah, of course. So I go up there, I went, I kicked him so hard, he went, boop, grabbed his leg up, and I even hurt worse. My shins, my head, my braids were pulsating, my temples, man. And this is what I started to recognize, that when he started grabbing me, elbowing me, kneeing me, and throwing me around, I didn't know what to do. My brothers didn't know what to do, because we never seen this. This is the first time introduced that type of fighting. And then I thought to myself, I figured, okay, well, I was already a black belt in judo, so I picked him up and literally threw him on his head. Nice. And this guy got right back up, and I threw him on his head again, because and he kept, you know. But I tell you what, I told my brother, you know, I don't know what, but whatever he has on is burning my eyes. And then I seen the corner that they were spraying something on him. And I realized, I said, you know what, by the time the fight, they stopped the fight, I think in the 9th round, and because there was a big riot going on by then, it started to go on because, again, you know, what happened is all the Americans thought the fight was cheating because we never seen elbows and knees and stuff like that, but it was so new. I recognized after that fight, I said, that's the kind of fighting I want to do. I want to learn that. I want to get into that because why? It deals with emotions. All the emotions, they came right up. And I recognized the art of war was internal, not external. Because the external part is what I felt on the outside, but the internal part was what I was feeling inside all this time, thinking, okay, I started to fear this because I started to get angry. I started to get angry at the fact, I was angry at me because I didn't know what to do, how to block it, you know, so I just kept throwing them. But then I recognized the art of war on my journey was about internal. It was about the emotions that we hide and that we don't want nobody to know, that we've been taught. And truly, that was my journey. My journey was about the inside warfare that we all go through, that we hide very well. Because again, how many of you, especially all the guys here, how many of you, your father said, what, you cried? You want something to cry about? You know, and the point is, because our fathers said crying was, you know, if you show that you're crying, it shows weakness. So we hid crying. And when we hid it, we didn't show it, we started not to show emotions. That was internal, we started hiding. And then, actually, he started replacing it by me going over there, washing the car, lowering the, fixing something. So he taught me how to be in the fixing business. So how many of you have done this when either your girlfriend, your wife, somebody, they start to cry and you say, don't cry, come on, everybody's watching. And it makes you feel uncomfortable. Why? Because you feel it's weak and you don't want them to cry. And it's really about yourself. That was my journey was about. It was about understanding me. Everything that I was taught, was taught to hide, to not show. But when I started to have a threat in front of me, that's when I realized everything I hid under my bed in my closet came up, and that is what I knew. That's the power of warfare. So my journey was about